Welcome to the following presentation of the Adrenaline Sim Racing Association. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. We had an epic photo finish in the Daytona 500, and now it's time to find out what this race will bring in store. Race number 2 of the ASRA NBC Cup Series season, the SoCal 400 powered by McDonald's. I'm Jack Mitchell alongside Kevin Campbell and Andrew Anderson up here in the booth. Gentlemen, like I said, exciting finish in race number 1. How do we top that in race number 2?
Man, I don't know if you can top 3 wide coming to the line. Bryce Mann getting the dub. What an amazing race. Quite an interesting race. A lot of it played out by pit strategy and then not showing your hand too early before the checkered flag would fly. He made his race-winning move, looks like really in turn 3, honestly. And it sealed the deal for him, and he managed to hold on through the trial. Well, Talladega, he might not get that win, but Daytona, he's all good. Andrew?
Yeah, I think the only way that you could top that is by a tie. I mean, it was such an exciting, epic finish that Daytona give.
Yeah, Daytona definitely did not let us down. We had a photo finish in duel number 2, and then we had a 3-wide finish for the win in the Daytona 500 itself, but it's time to chug along with the rest of the regular season, so let's go ahead. And before we get into our starting lineup, let's take a look at our points picture so far. So Bryce Mann, your Daytona 500 champion, is the points leader currently with 31 points. Although there is a bit of a tie actually right now too, because Alexander Schumacher is also tied for the points lead, also with 31. Blaise McKinney 3rd, Wyatt Dooling 4th, Felipe Henriquez in 5th, Wes Hayes in 6th, Chase Parent 7th, Blake Garcia 8th, Shazay Rana 9th. Kevin Campbell is 10th. That rounds out the top 10 in your points. But Jack Mitchell, the pole sitter for tonight's race, he's in 11th in points. So this battle, already we've got a pretty heated battle for the points lead. Again, this is not winning you're in for the chase. You got to win and stay consistent, stay at the front of the field just about all the time. Also get those bonus points too for leading laps or the most laps led or the fastest lap of the race.
You're exactly right, Jack. And the interesting thing about Bryce Mann and Alexander Schumacher's points situation is that Bryce Mann won and Schumacher finished 2nd. But Bryce led only a couple of laps and Schumacher led the most laps, so he got the 2-point bonus and therefore they tied.
Yeah, that'll just make it even that more interesting to start the season. So we're looking forward to this battle.
And now that we're out of the super speedway, now we're getting into these intermediates and the road courses to kind of show who can really stay on top and stay consistent.
You're not wrong there. All right, enough pre-race hype. We're getting ready. Let's go ahead, go trackside, fire up those engines. The engines have roared to life, and the cars are rolling off here at the Auto Club Speedway, so let's go ahead and take a look at your starting lineup. As we mentioned, your Altitude Graphics Pole Award winner is Jack Mitchell in the 1. PJ Payne joins him on the outside in row 2. Or in row 1, excuse me. Next up, it's Anthony Foss in the 45 and Connor Hudson, Ryan New in the 40, and Hannes Noreger in 9 in row 3. Next up, it's Alexander Schumacher and Eric Braxton. And then Blake Garcia in the 07 and Wyatt Dooling in the 29 round out the top 10. We'll go ahead and show you guys the rest of the starting grid on your screen right now. Daytona 500 champion Bryce Mann starting all the way back in 21st, so he'll have a bit of work to do to try and catch up. But better starting position for the man he's tied with, Alexander Schumacher, currently in 7th. So be interesting to see how that points battle and how that points battle goes, how those positions shift throughout the whole race.
You're exactly right, Jack. We've got a lot of tension coming into this race from Daytona, and I'm really excited to see what happens here. Fontana's known to get 4 and 5 wide, and well, we know Eric Braxton will make it 5 wide as the pace car dips off.
Pace car is off. Jack Mitchell leads him down in his home track, or one of his home tracks. Green flag is in the air at Fontana.
Cars going through the gears. We get up to 214 when the race is full-fledged green. Very, very exciting racetrack as Anthony Foss already looking inside of the one of Jack Mitchell going in through turn 3.
The backstretch. The backstretch does give you a better run though when you're on the outside. So we'll see how these cars manage it as the race goes along. 50 laps here at Auto Club. This is the first time also we're seeing these cars not under the lights. This is our first daytime race of the season. The Clash at the Coliseum, the Daytona 500, everything was held under the lights at Daytona. This is our first time in the natural light of day.
The surface here in Fontana is old. You can watch these cars bouncing up and down the whole way through the corner and down the backstretch. You can see it right there.
Yeah, you'll see it, especially down the backstretches. It looks like we kind of have a lead change right now. The 45 Anthony Foss definitely threatening Jack Mitchell for the race lead. Look at how bouncy they are on the backstretch.
One thing about this track is definitely experimenting with the different lanes to see which one gives you better speed. As the 45 is going to try to clear the one.
The 45 car kind of making it work on that inside so far, but the one's hanging in there.
Exactly right. Going into turn 1, just past the choose cone spot for other racing series. We're almost 3 wide for 4th place there.
Anthony Foss takes the race lead away.
Biltberry bunched up here through the pack.
There's Connor Hudson making a move to the outside to get in line with these guys, and you know, if they get together, they start to form a line here. It can be almost a little bit reminiscent of Daytona. You'll see how close they get when they run in a pack. Anthony Foss, new race leader.
PJ Payne dives under Jack Mitchell going into turn 1. He's going to try to clear him through the corner. He's got a good run in the middle.
He'll get that pass done, I believe.
Exit coming. He might be able to get him clear here. Nope, side by side down the back straightaway for 2nd place. He falls behind the one.
Jack Mitchell is in line right now. PJ Payne is not, so he's going to have a little bit more of an advantage there, and he'll take advantage of that. Going into this turn, PJ Payne's starting the race in 2nd, falling back to 3rd so far. As we almost had some contact there. The 949, the 07, 68 trying to get together. Alexander Schumacher battling for that position.
Yeah, with the exception of the front, just everyone seems just bunched together trying to find line to run without hitting each other, so they're kind of in a tight spot back there.
Yes, they are. They will start to fan out and spread out pretty soon here, but I don't know how long exactly it'll take, as we've never seen the ASRA NBC Cup Series here at Fontana other than in preseason testing, just making sure if the track works. 3 wide in the middle.
Yeah, 3 wide action right there between Roberto Crown Jr., your pole sitter for the Daytona 500. A couple other guys involved there as well. This is a nice little pack we've got going on to start this race. One thing we also got to mention, a new driver in the field this season for this race. Got the 75 car of Cole Wilton right now. New entry out of Wootman Racing, I believe is what the team is called.
Woot.
Oh, we had a car on the wall that was the 29 of Wyatt Dueling. It looks like he holds onto it though.
I think that was the 15 also got into the wall.
Well, Wilton making the move on Kevin Campbell there in the back of the pack.
Wilton is he has been granted a waiver, by the way. He did not run the Daytona 500, but ASRA officials have granted him a waiver for the season, so he will be eligible to run the championship.
And he is going to inherit points from an unnamed driver who no longer is a part of the NBC Cup Series.
Here's a look at your Daytona 500 champion, Bryce Mann. Currently running 17th.
Wilton into the wall.
Wilton just got into the wall.
On the exit of turn 4.
Still looks like everybody's been able to hold on to it, though. We've definitely had a lot of wall contact, and we could be having right now a potential pass for 2nd. Ryan New definitely on the inside threatening these guys, but he's not in line. He doesn't have the same push. Jack Mitchell hasn't really done too much since he lost the race lead to Anthony Foss here, but he's definitely been staying in his right up to his bumper, so this battle for the lead, we'll see how it evolves over the race as it goes along. Connor Hudson there. Worked his way up into 5th place, I believe this is. Yes, 5th place.
Yep, seeing a few paint schemes for the first time this year. If we could take a look at that real quick, we've got Chase Parent in the 27 car for Nike.
Yeah, Nike scheme. Nike colors on the 27 for Chase Parent.
For the pack, we've got Bryce Mann running the silver Energizer car.
Beautiful.
What other new cars we got in this
the
race?
Silver Bunny,
Kevin
as we call it. Kevin Campbell's got the KC design forward on
Reese
this week.
Kupski.
Andrew Anderson right there as well.
Anderson, Reese Kupski. I think that's all of them.
Bryce Mann into the wall there too, but he holds on to it.
That chrome bunny car looks so good.
The Silver Bunny, as he likes to call it. Looking for Reese Kupski right now. I don't see him just yet.
It's green.
I think it's like what?
There he is.
It's yellow and green. There he is. There's our boy.
Sour Patch Kids Ford Mustang.
We'll have to see if we can get Reese in the booth sometime this season.
It'd be nice. His brother Brody was in the booth for the Clash, so
I'm sure Brody will be back.
yeah.
Well, it kind of looks like everyone's starting the process of fanning out and just trying to find their position in this race.
Anthony Foss still leads the way. Jack Mitchell 2nd. PJ Payne 3rd. Ryan New in 4th. Ryan New has been having a pretty solid year so far. It's still very early, but he finished 2nd in his dual race and had a pretty good run in the Daytona 500 too, honestly.
He did. We've got a 4-car breakaway here. Just a little bit pulled out in front of the pack. Jack Mitchell, PJ Payne looking high on the exit of turn 4, but I don't think that's really going to help him very much.
Those cars went pretty low in that corner. I was almost thinking maybe they were going to come to pit road.
4th place, maybe?
Connor Hudson.
Little bit.
Looking 3 wide for 4th place here.
Little bit. Now they get back in line. Blake Garcia another car who's been having a solid season so far.
Mitchell still absolutely hot on Anthony Foss's tail. Can Jack Mitchell win from the pole here about a quarter of the way through?
These two cars look like they've
SoCal
broken
400.
away. These two cars look like they've broken away a little bit here from the rest of the field. The gap between Mitchell and Payne has increased quite a little bit over these last few laps.
As the battle for 5th there heats up between those 3.
I wanted to see a 3-wide battle right there. It looks like they shuffled back in line. That's what you talked about too, Kevin, in the pre-race, is that these guys can run like that at this track. There's room for 3-wide, 4-wide, and a lot of those moves you see will come on the front stretch, sometimes in the back stretch too, but especially in the front, because in the turns, anyone can make any lane work. You see PJ Payne trying to go to the high side. That didn't really work out for him, but he had the room to try it. He went for it. That might cost him too. It looks like Ryan New has a push from Connor Hudson behind him. And Ryan New now threatening for 3rd.
Lots of changing of position throughout the pack, but not up front. These two leaders are very, very strong today. Mitchell still in pursuit, but not quite as close. About a car length and a half, 2 car lengths behind.
Definitely not letting him pull away. The 8 car has been up here for most of this race too. He hasn't really lost 3rd, but he's definitely fallen off a little bit more than the top 2, but he's not going away either. And
Fontana is like a cheese grater on your tires. We'll have to see. Maybe he's just saving his tires a bit to make a run later on. We'll also have to see how well the tires hold up throughout this race.
Could be looking for a potential opportunity to pass too. He gained a little bit in that corner. Take a look at the fastest lap so far. That belongs to the 9 car, Hannes Nurager. Reminder, we do give out a point for the fastest lap. Everybody who leads a lap gets a bonus point. And at the end of the race, the driver with the most laps led also gets a bonus point.
That's exactly
so they get 2 bonus points.
Gonna look to the outside again. He's trying to make it work, but I don't think he's going soon enough. To
look at that. Look at how tight they were. They almost got into the wall right there. PJ Payne and Ryan New got together for a little bit.
Hudson.
Ryan New making a move on Payne, trying to clear him. It looks like he's now got him clear, but Payne might be able to rocket around on the outside.
Not unless New goes up to the high side and gets the block and the push, and Connor Hudson is going to try and squeeze his way between the 8 and the 9 cars. He's going to do that, but he's not really going to gain just yet on these 4 leaders.
gap
More cars
between
in the wall.
Mitchell and Foss still remaining. We'll have to see if we get any cautions from these guys getting into the wall. There could be a wreck that comes up.
Yeah, that tends to be where they happen at this track. Like, somebody will run too high, get into the wall, and then they'll have problems when they get off the wall. Landon Mills, you saw, kind of get into it there. So did Blake Garcia. Eric Braxton in the middle of all this. And you can see Bryce Mann a little bit further back.
Yeah, you just gotta be careful about just, when you get into the wall, just trying to fix your car, and then you end up hitting somebody else, and that causes a slew of problems.
Keep an eye out up front as some of these guys watch the 23, watch the 07. They keep it off the wall for the most part.
J. Mack, Wes Hayes, and Landon Mills back there in the middle of the pack.
Felipe Henriquez had to try to get in line there. Looks like it's kind of gotten single file for most of the front of the pack. The 5 leaders showing the way right now in just one lane. I think everybody's just kind of biding their time, eventually waiting to see when the right chance is to make a move.
3 wide.
Look, I'm thinking we're gonna have some pit strategy this race here.
Yeah, this track tends to have a lot of fuel problems and strategy here. Like, a lot of drivers are gonna definitely be keeping an eye on their fuel gauges here. Anthony Foss in the Mercedes AMG GT for Full Send Racing. Good showing out of this 45 team so far. Hasn't looked back since he took the lead away from the pole sitter, Jack Mitchell, but Jack Mitchell hasn't really looked back either. He's on his tail right now for holding it down in second.
That definitely seems like saving tires for Jack Mitchell. The way he just hasn't really, stayed in second, stayed back there, hasn't used up all of his speed, letting the 45 use up all of his stuff.
Exactly right. The 45 car is the one that has to push. The 45 car is the one that has to use up his tires, use up his fuel. The 1 car can just kind of coast behind him in the draft. And eventually, when the time is right, he might take an opportunity to fly right by him. But definitely pit stops. Now that we're 20 laps into this thing, pit stops are going to be on the forefront of some drivers' minds.
Looks like PJ Payne taking third again. Or kind of lost it.
Road Club's usual pit window is about 40 laps. Is this set to be 1x?
I believe so.
Yeah, so they should be pitting with about 10 laps to go, and we'll have to see how they race to the finish through that point. But we're almost halfway here. Anthony Foss and Jack Mitchell handily leading this race.
Still plenty of time left, though, for guys like Ryan New to say something about it. PJ Payne, too, he's been up here. Hannes Noreger, he's been up here. Chase Parent, too, we talked about him a little bit earlier. He's found his way up into the top 6. As PJ Payne, again, he can't really make it work on that outside. He's been trying as hard as he can, but just isn't really gaining the momentum that he's looking to gain. Is the caution out? No, the caution's not out. I don't know why. I thought I saw the yellow flag for a second.
Chase Parent trying to get that 5th position. He started back in 11th today. He was almost a no-namer for much of the 500 and then eventually showed up at the end running really well.
Yeah, it was a great finish for that 27 team. Consistently running at the end of it.
Yeah, 21 looking like he cracked the top 10. Roberto Crown Jr. starting 12th.
Parent's up to 5th. He's on the move. He is probably our biggest mover today so far, I believe.
Not the greatest showing ever for Roberto Crown Jr. at the Daytona 500. He started on the pole after winning duel number 1 on a very good pit strategy, but he was the last car to finish the race on the track. There was 1 car that DNF'd in a single car incident at the Daytona 500, and that was it. Everybody else kept their noses clean. And Roberto Crown Jr. finishing at the very back of the pack of the cars that were still on the track at the end of it. So we'll see if that 21 has something to say about it so far. Only ahead of 2 drivers in the point standings. Those drivers being Eric Braxton and Ben Fiora. Ben Fiora, of course. Let's see if we can find out where that 57 car is. I mentioned the single car incident in the Daytona 500, and it was that man right there, Ben Fiora in the spike ball Ford Mustang. The only driver who did not finish the Daytona 500. PJ Payne has gone to the inside of the front of the pack.
Ben Fiore, unfortunately, only has 1 point on the season after finishing last place.
Keep my eye on this 8 car here because we've been talking about how he hasn't really been able to make anything work on the outside. He's finally trying the inside, and it looks like he's looking to gain that momentum that he might be gaining, but he's not in line with the rest of these cars. He has to fall back, get in front of Chase Parent, get behind Ryan New. Still not really a whole lot of movement within this top 3.
Parent is hot on PJ Payne's tail. We'll have to see if he's able to get around him and continue his work through the pack.
We'll go on board here. This has been Jack Mitchell's view for most of this race.
Getting a really, really good look at that Makita rear bumper, and he slides up.
Yeah, that was, he had a little bit of a moment right there in turn 4. Yeah, I'm not sure what happened there. He lost a lot of time to that 45 car.
He lost about a 10th and a half there.
But he didn't really lose any time to the leaders. In fact, it looks like 8 car was trying to do something again. And it just hasn't been working out
on a snow rigger, looking to the inside of Chase Parent, but it did not work at all how he was wanting it to. Parent on the outside of Ryan New.
Ryan New is going to fall back here. He's out of line. Maybe not. They go 3 wide right behind him. I was about to say the 40
running the high line. He'll have some momentum on exit if he doesn't get into the wall. He almost did, but he didn't quite get there.
Careful.
Very close.
Just past halfway, this race is shaping up to be something really tight at the end of it.
It's just going to come down to when do these drivers decide to come to pit road. I think that's what's going to decide it, because these top 4 aren't really going anywhere. The 8 and the 40 kind of swap positions again, but other than that, nobody's really tried any moves for the race lead.
Really a battle.
They're all trying to get some momentum.
PJ Payne might be looking on the inside of Jack Mitchell right here for second. Could be forcing him up the track.
All over that green bumper. He'll have green wrap all over his nose if he gets any closer.
Looks like Mitchell's able to hang on to it for the time being. Anthony Foss still the race leader. PJ Payne wants to go to the inside, but Jack Mitchell's got the faster car through this corner. Mitchell maybe was hoping that Payne could give him a bit of a push through that corner.
Payne lost a lot of momentum there, but he should be able to get a pretty solid draft off of Jack Mitchell and get a decent run coming, as he's got Ryan New and many others coming
Nicholas
in.
Michelini has worked his way up into this battle now. He's battling against the 9 car for top 5 positioning.
Michelini started in 14th. That's quite a climb for him.
He's working his way up. That looks like that jet blue car.
Yes, sir.
Going back to single file.
9 car Hunter Snowiger. Still in possession of the fastest lap. He's been running right behind that 40 car basically the whole race. Although they've certainly shuffled a few positions as the 8 car goes way up the track. That allows the 40 car to gain a little bit of ground on him, and it allows the 9 to work his way a little bit closer, but he can't really make up the ground just yet.
We can see it. These cars are going a few miles an hour slower into turn 1 than they were earlier. These tires are wearing out quickly.
Just want to get an update on the back of the field really quick. Alexander Schumacher tied for the points lead. He's up here in this battle right now. Felipe Henriquez, he had a solid showing at Daytona. He's 5th in the points. Connor Hudson's up here as well, too. Henriquez was in the lead to come to the white flag at Daytona, but he couldn't quite hold on the push from drivers behind him. Alexander Schumacher was battling with him, so was the eventual winner Bryce Mann. We can go find that 99 car, the Silver Bunny. He's running on the outside right now, currently in 25th position. It's a bit more like a pack race.
Here on the ticker, we've got Cole Wilton, the newbie who didn't run Daytona, sitting in 10th, I believe.
Yeah, good showing so far from Cole Wilton.
Started in 18th in that Shields Ford Mustang. Cracking the top 10.
Wes Hayes looking to the inside of Chase Parent, making it 3 wide in the middle of turn 4.
Big move by Wes Hayes. We haven't talked too much about that, the driver of the 11 Dodge Charger. But he's worked his way up into this battle now.
Gonna try and take that bottom line into the corner and see if he can shorten the distance.
I don't know if it's really
Fight the
quite working
momentum
him
with
out
less
just
distance.
yet. He's getting
He
some
might-
kind of a
he
side
might-
draft on the
he might
52.
be able to get him clear.
Doesn't have a push though. That's gonna hurt. He's gonna have to drop in line here.
Slam. Hayes
That was
absolutely
close.
slams the door on Wilton.
That was really close. I feel like that if anything is going to cause any kind of a crash or an incident here, it's going to be something like that where somebody makes a move like that to try and get back in line, close the door on another driver, and they'll find out that they're not clear as the 49 car and the 97 car both find themselves tapping the wall through turn 4. Still caution free. Daytona was not caution-free, but we only had a single-car incident. This race has been completely caution-free. Both dual races were caution-free. The Clash, of course, was not.
The Clash, I think, probably caught us up, or it got us ahead on cautions. We're just catching up now.
Exactly. We've fulfilled our caution quota for the first few races of the season, so.
But did we fill our flip quota?
Yeah, I think we had 2 or 3, so yes.
Yeah, we had like, I think 2-3 flips at the Coliseum.
Remember
Not the
first
cleanest race of all time, but these races so far absolutely have been. These points-paying races.
Payne is now on Jack Mitchell's bumper.
He's on
trying
PJ Payne.
to make something work.
PJ Payne, though, he's got some pressure from behind. Hans Narager has worked his way up to 4th place, past Ryan New.
They have a good battle for second here as PJ Payne works his way.
Again, though, PJ Payne goes high early, and that allows pressure from another
3
driver.
wide for 3rd.
See,
Jeez, here.
I don't know
Ryan New
if
trying to make the bottom work, but I don't know. I don't think the bottom is gonna work.
I don't know if PJ Payne's strategy is going to work, because I think what he's doing is he's staying so committed to the top line of the racetrack, and it's helping him win those battles for position. The problem is every time he goes high like that, he loses ground to the 1 car. Watch and see if he does it again this lap as he goes through 3 and
Exactly
4.
on point, Jack. He's got a little bit of a run coming on the 1 car.
He's got the run. Oh, he didn't look
He's
high that
looking
lap.
inside.
I don't know if he wants to look inside, though,
He's
because
still on him.
if he does that, that might allow the 9 car to get a run.
We'll see. They're coming
He
in
might be
turn-
trying to get just alongside Mitchell and side draft him just enough to get past him.
Here he comes. Just not quite.
Middle of turn 2, just nothing there.
Just doesn't
He's
quite.
trying hard at it.
Definitely trying as hard as he can. He goes back in line, though, and I think Mitchell definitely gained a lot of time on him and a lot of time on the race leader. Anthony Foss has pretty much led wire to wire in this thing other than the first few laps. And see, this is what I mean right here. He's going high. He's going to have the advantage on the 9 and the 27, and that's why he stays high. But look at all the ground he lost to the 1 car.
Yeah, nothing to the 1. He can't get second place doing that. He needs a new strategy.
However, Chase Parrott has been fast all day, all weekend. We'll have to see if he's able to clear the number 9 of Hannes Noreger, get behind the 8 car and then swing around him as well, as we've got 23 laps to go.
But can you make it work on the bottom like that? Look at how low he went. He's going to lose all those positions to those guys who are in line. Chase Parrott really went low down the track. I wonder, though, if that's a sign maybe he's thinking about coming to pit road.
Sorry, my apologies. 13 laps to go.
We're just about entering that pit road window you mentioned, Kevin. These guys are only going to need to make 1 stop, but it's going to be so late in the race, so timing is going to be everything for these guys.
Are these teams going to try and stretch it out and make it last?
Contact between the 52 and the 27. 27 moved all the way up, and the 52 just nailed the back of him.
Not quite sure where that contact took place, but hasn't really slowed down either of them, although Wes Hayes definitely getting a little bit closer there. He dives to the inside of Michelini. They're 3 wide for this position. And look at the 8 car of PJ Payne. It looks like he's finally gotten to the inside of Jack Mitchell.
There you go.
And he's going to have a push,
He's
too.
got help.
There's
He's got some aerodynamic help from Cole Wilton. Oh my goodness.
Cole Wilton putting on a show in his first ASRA NBC Cup Series race, but is it going to be the right side of the racetrack? Because Jack Mitchell's got help now from Hannes Narager, and the 9 car Does he still have the fastest lap? Yes, he does. They're going to be side by side. That's going to hurt both of them.
Gotta keep pushing.
Jack Mitchell still staying firmly behind the race leader, Anthony Foss.
Well, Wilton trying to make it 3 wide, and he does. He's all the way to the bottom.
Shout out to Cole Wilton. This guy in the 75 making his debut race, missed the Daytona 500, got a waiver, and he's looking like he wants to win right now already out of the gate.
18th and worked his way into the top 5.
Great showing so far from that car.
Absolutely incredible run.
Chase Parent having a solid day. Ryan New, another guy who's having a solid day.
We have almost 3 seconds of speed fall off. These guys are going to need to pit.
Ooh, the 97 almost went up into the wall. Bit of a breakaway now for the top 2. Jack Mitchell's still not letting Anthony Foss breathe just yet. 10 to go. Anthony Foss for Full Send Racing has been dominant so far today. He will definitely pick up the bonus point for most laps led. Even if Jack Mitchell were to take the race lead here and never look back, Foss has basically led pretty much, I'd say all but maybe 3 laps so far this race, something like that. That 45 car took the lead quick and he hasn't looked back at all. But Jack Mitchell definitely abiding by one of the old sayings in racing. It's something that I always bring up when these races are taking place, and I don't even remember who said it, but it's absolutely true. If you can't pass him, worry him to death. Stay in his rearview mirror. Do not let him breathe. If he makes a mistake, that 1 car is going to be right there to pounce, but so is the 9 car.
Exactly on it, and Payne has lost 2 positions now, and the 75 also seems to have fallen off a little bit. These guys' tires look like they might be giving out a little.
It's definitely been a troublesome race so far for PJ Payne. He has been trying to make every single lane he possibly can work, and it just hasn't really done the job. He hasn't really gone anywhere. He hasn't, if anything, he's fallen back now in the field, still behind that 40 car. And now Narager is going to try and do the same thing that he was doing earlier, stick to that outside line. He'll win that battle, the 3-wide battle for those cars that are in front of him, but not really making up any ground on the cars ahead. Only 7 to go. Do we see them dive the pit road anytime soon?
Are we going to see a caution anytime soon? With everybody hitting the wall, and now these tires starting to get everybody to slide up the racetrack.
We're a couple laps away, I would say, from the territory where a caution flag ends the race, so definitely keep an eye out. See how aggressive these guys get.
Only hitting 194 miles an hour into turn 3. These guys are slowed down extremely. It really is going to be a test of, do they have the fuel? Do they have the tires? Narager looks to the inside of the 1 car. He might have the speed to get him.
But Mitchell's in the draft. Oh, no, the 9 car is so fast, though, on the bottom. It looks like he's going to hold on. And now the 45 car. Mitchell didn't really stay in line with him, but I think the 1 car is going to get the better run off of 2 and hold off the 9 for the time being. It was a little bit shady there. Some of those guys didn't really stay in line like I thought they would. I would go through the back of the field.
6 laps to go.
Yeah, I'm going to go through the back of the field really quick just because I want to keep an eye on the front and see if anyone comes to pit road. Not really too many big names here. Can't seem to find where Alexander Schumacher is. Where's Bryce Mann at? Right, there's Bryce Mann right there running in 22nd position. The 68 car's in 12th, so we could be looking at a new points leader.
I'm thinking we're definitely going to be looking at a new points leader, as a number of these cars are in like the middle of the point standings. We could have a major point shakeup today.
Absolutely. I mean, only 1 race in so far. This is going to be race number 2. They're 3 wide behind them trying to battle. Narager going to go to the inside of Mitchell again. But I don't know if he's going to be able to make it stick.
To the inside.
Lap times have tremendously fallen off here.
Anthony Foss's fastest lap was a 40.991. Now he's running a 30, or sorry, he was running his best lap was a 37.7. Now he's running a 41-second lap.
So it's been a 3-second tire fall off, and I just wonder with so little time left in the race, how aggressive is Jack Mitchell going to get trying to catch up to that 45 car?
Are we going to see one of the weird Enter 2003 deals where the whole field comes to pit road with 2 laps to go?
It could happen. I'm not going to rule anything out. Anthony Foss trying to do everything he can. That's the thing, is that Anthony Foss is the one who's been having to push and use up all of his tires. Jack Mitchell has been able to just ride around in the draft.
Yeah, Jack Mitchell is definitely waiting for the right moment at this point.
There is eventually, if that one car wants to be in victory lane, there is going to have to be a moment when he goes to the inside and just pushes it. But he doesn't want to lose any track, because if he loses that spot, 45 car, or the 40, not only would the 45 car pull away, but the 40 car of Ryan New might have something to say about it. Honest Naragar's still up here.
3 wide again back there for about 5th or 6th place.
2 to go.
3 to go.
Or 3, my bad. 3.
As they head down into turn 1, Jack Mitchell got a little bit of a push there. I think if they don't come in this time by, they're probably going to stretch it to the end of the race. We'll see what they do here down the backstretch. Can Jack Mitchell get any kind of help from Ryan New and try and take it to the race lead? They're going to the inside of the track. Are they going to pit this time by? No.
No, they're not.
No takers on pit road. 2 laps to go here at the Auto Club Speedway in the SoCal 400. Anthony Foss has been the dominant car all race long. Jack Mitchell won the pole, but he hasn't been able to quite make up any ground. If he's going to do anything to try and win this race, it would be right here, right now. Nicholas Michelini, where did he come from? He's worked his way up into the 3rd. Down the backstretch for the second to last time. No pit stops, no cautions. They've kept it a wreck-free race. It's been clean from start to finish. Will they pit right now? If they don't pit right now, they might not pit at all.
They can't, right? Yeah, they're not going to pit. They're coming to the white flag, Jack.
That they are. White flag is in the air. 1 lap to go here at Auto Club Speedway in Fontana. If Jack Mitchell's going to do anything, this would be the moment.
1 more lap for Jack Mitchell to have an attempt here. He's very, very close to Foss's rear bumper. Through turn 2, he's got a little bit of a run looking.
If these two get together, what is the 52 and the 40 going to do?
I think the 45 got the better run off the corner. Jack Mitchell he's not as close as he was anymore. He's going to have to dive to the inside or try something, anything to make it happen.
1 last corner.
Last corner. Are they going to pit on the last lap, or are they going to go for it? Doesn't look like it. Looks like the one's out of time. Anthony Foss, a dominant showing from start to finish. He is your winner here in the SoCal 400, powered by McDonald's at the Auto Club Speedway.
Very clean race, very dominant race, very consistent race, very everything good race.
Not necessarily a carousel of leaders like we saw at Daytona, but a very, very impressive race put on by both the 45 and the 1 car, as well as everyone who managed to come from the back to the front. But once they got to the 1 and the 45, they just couldn't get by them.
Yeah, great showing from both of those guys. I'm sure Jack Mitchell will take it after he was the only Adrenaline Motorsports car that did not even finish inside the top 5 or even the top 3 at Daytona. So to come away with a 2nd place result here is still a pretty good win for that team. So strong start to the season for Adrenaline Motorsports, but it's all about the 45 car of Anthony Foss and Full Send Racing. That Mercedes AMG GT was too quick for anyone to catch up to.
Yeah, last week, Jack Mitchell found himself finishing in the 12th place position, and the 45 of Anthony Foss, well, he managed to find himself last week in the 19th place. So this is a major improvement for him.
Absolutely. I think we'll see both cars shoot up the standings. I want to give some shout outs to drivers too, like Nicholas Michelini. He ends up finishing 4th in this one. The fastest lap will stick with the 9 car, Hannes Naragar. He had a pretty good showing as well. And the 29 of Chase Parrott, you mentioned him. How about a top 10 for Cole Wilton too? He showed up really well in his debut. Great stuff out of that 75 team.
Awesome job finishing 8th. They didn't even have time for a proper wrap on that race car, so we'll have to see. Maybe they'll have enough power next week when they show up with a freshly designed car that doesn't look like a toddler made it.
All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, a clean and uneventful race. Well, not totally uneventful, but a clean, caution-free showing here at the Auto Club Speedway. Another caution-free race. We'll have to see if these drivers tone up the aggression a little bit here in future races. You never know. We're going to be at Rockingham Speedway next week, but we're looking forward to seeing what goes down. But in the meantime, let's go ahead and take a look at your finishing results in the SoCal 400. Anthony Foss, your winner today here at the Auto Club Speedway. Jack Mitchell brings it home in second. Ryan New third. Nicholas Michelini in fourth. Hannes Naraga rounds out the top five. Then it's Thomas Johnson. We didn't really talk about him. He finishes sixth today. Wyatt Dooling in seventh. Another good showing for him. As we mentioned, Cole Wilton making his first start, finishing in the top 10 in eighth. Chase Perrin in ninth. PJ Payne in 10th, rounding out the top 10. Then it's Felipe Henriquez, Wes Hayes, Landon Mills, Alexander Schumacher, Connor Hudson, Blake Garcia, Eric Braxton, Jay Mack, and Ben Fiore and Blaze McKinney to round out the top 20. And to finish this one off, Bryce Mann, the Daytona 500 champion, brings it home 21st. Henry Tabor in 22nd. Then Kevin Campbell, David Smith, Andrew Anderson, Reese Kepsky, Roberto Crown Jr., Brody Kepsky, Connor DaCosta, and Shazan Rana to round out the field. Another race where it's not the greatest showing for that 21 team of Roberto Crown Jr. Again, we mentioned he finished 29th in the 500. And he's now 27th in this one. He's going to have a lot of ground that he's going to have to make up over the next few races. Let's take a closer look at the point standings after Auto Club. Wyatt Dooling, the new points leader with 52, but right behind him, the second place finisher, Jack Mitchell, 12th at Daytona, second here at Auto Club. He jumps up to second place, 2 points behind Wyatt Dooling for the lead. Alexander Schumacher, 2 points behind him in third. And then we have a three-way tie. That'll be very interesting. Hannes Naraga, Chase Perrin, and Felipe Henriquez all have 47 points each, and another tie right behind them. Wes Hayes and Anthony Foss with 45 apiece. Then Bryce Mann and Blaze McKinney round out the top 10. After that, it's Nicholas Michelini, Blake Garcia, Ryan New, Cole Wilton, 14th already in the point standings. Quite impressive. And then Landon Mills, Connor Hudson, Thomas Johnson, Kevin Campbell, PJ Payne, Henry Tabor to round out the top 20. And the last 10 in points, it's Jay Mack, Andrew Anderson, Shazan Rana, Reese Kepsky, Eric Braxton, David Smith, Ben Fiore, Connor DaCosta, Brody Kepsky, and Roberto Crown Jr. He started the Daytona 500 on the pole, and he's at the bottom of the points lead right now. He's going to need a miracle soon if he can't start picking up these solid finishes late in the year. Kevin, final thoughts?
You're absolutely right, Jack. And let's take a look at if the chase started today. The top 12 in points caps off at Blake Garcia. And so we'll have to see how this season shapes up here next week as we go into Rockingham Speedway. A 1 mile double dog-legged oval, kind of like Texas, but it's a weirdly laid out pit road. Let's see if the pit road shape catches people off guard.
Yeah, that track is sure to ruffle some feathers too with how much smaller it is. It's going to be our first, I think, not short track of the season, but definitely smaller than what we're used to. So I'll be curious to see what these drivers have in store for Rockingham, but that is going to do it in the meantime for the SoCal 400 powered by McDonald's here at the Auto Club Speedway in Fontana, California. We really hope you enjoyed this race. If you did, be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, follow us on social media at ASRA Sim Racing on X and on Instagram. We're going to be joining you next time from the Rockingham Speedway, the FedEx 400. It's going to be exciting. We look forward to seeing you then. Thank you guys very much for watching. We'll see you soon. Thank you for watching this presentation of the Adrenaline Sim Racing Association.